Well, I'm not going to make you wait any further. Let's bring out this fantastic cast, these amazing creators. Ladies and gentlemen, she is the newest Cooper. We've only had 1 or 2 scenes together, but I think they were her favorite. She plays Mandy McAllister. Put your hands together for Emily Osment. He is as nice as they come. We have never had a scene together, and that's just how he likes it. Ladies and gentlemen, he plays Georgie Cooper. Put your hands together for Montana Jordan.
Thank you, thank you. Right there, there's the spot.
This young lady, she lives up to her name because she is my ray of sunshine. She plays Missy Cooper. Put your hands together for Raegan Revord. I love you. I love you too. Oh my gosh, my buttons. You might want to start stretching because you're probably going to want to stand up. She's a treasure. She's a national treasure. Ladies and gentlemen, she's the Meemaw we all want. Put your hands together. Annie Pop. That's what I'm talking about. This next person, he is my mom's favorite one on the show. And I have to remind her, I too am on the show. He is as funny as they come. He plays George Cooper. Put your hands together for Lance Barber. This next woman, she is so funny. She is the foundation of this family. She is so kind, so talented, and wonderful. Put your hands together. She plays Mary Cooper. It is Zoe Perry. Look at that. Oh my gosh. His name is in the title. There's no one else that could have done it. He is so kind, a good kid. He's so talented. Put your hands. He plays Sheldon Cooper. It is Iain Armitage. And none of this show would be possible without this trifecta of amazing writers that I'm bringing out here. Please put your hands together for Steve Holland, executive producer. Amazing, amazing. And we've got Stephen Molaro, our executive producer. So good, so talented. Thank you, come on out. And he, you know him, you love him. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the executive producer, Mr. Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. How is this seeing them all together in one room, huh?
Awesome.
Woo. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for letting me do this. This is really a thrill and an honor.
Thank you for doing this.
Well, let's get started. Okay, I'm going to start with our executive producers here. We've got Chuck, Steve, and Steve. When did the idea percolate? What season of Big Bang Theory did the idea for young Sheldon sort of come to play or come to pass? When did it start?
You remember?
Do you guys remember?
Middle of season 9, I think. 9 or...
Yeah.
Season
9 or 10? Yeah, of 12, yeah.
How did it start? Who was the first person to sort of say, this might be a way to keep telling the story of this world?
It started with Jim Parsons, who had a nephew in Texas, has a nephew in Texas, who's an extraordinary young man, just a brilliant young man. And we went to visit with him. And it became apparent, well, wait a minute. If we're going to write about an extraordinary young man, wouldn't it be Sheldon? And then, of course, the miracle happened. We found Iain, because without Iain, we wouldn't have gone forward without Iain.
So this is what question that I wanted to ask too, because I was thinking about this. So he was the first one that you all cast in the show, right?
Yes.
Because without him, you wouldn't have.
We wouldn't have gone forward.
And then after Iain, who was next? Who did you guys cast next? Do you remember?
Wow.
I don't remember.
I think Lance was the last person cast.
With Zoe?
Lance, you were the last one cast.
It didn't all come together. You're the last.
Wow.
What was remarkable is Zoe auditioned for the part of Mary, and we go back with her mom.
Right.
You know, for forever.
I don't know, is that the only time, I mean, I have to think, is that the only other time, maybe the first time in TV history where your mother played the future version of yourself?
I think so.
I think we're the first to do it concurrently.
Yeah, it was both happening at the same time for the first couple of years, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, Lorre was a big part of the series, Big Bang, yeah.
I remember the first time Zoe's name came up, your reaction was, well, she can't do it. She's like 12. We're like, yeah, she's older now.
You have to
This could
remember,
work.
I first met Zoe on Roseanne. In 30 some odd years ago, she would be running around the stage playing with the other kids on the cast. And there she was coming in to play a mom.
Yeah.
It was a remarkable experience.
And when she came in, I mean, was it it was an absolute no-brainer, just no one else could do it.
The lineage and the relationship with her mom meant nothing. As an actress, she was perfect, and she's been perfect ever since.
She has, she really has. So, and I think this question probably comes up a lot, and I think everyone is maybe interested in this. So when you're doing a show that an audience is already, they know the character. They've had 12 seasons to know this person. They've seen future versions of these people, and they've been told a story. How big of a priority was it to stick to the version of Sheldon's childhood that we were told on The Big Bang Theory?
I mean, I think obviously he told a lot of stories about his parents on Big Bang Theory, and I think we realized going into this show that we had some leeway to tell the stories a little bit differently, because this was being narrated by an older Sheldon who had kids of his own, and that maybe was looking back on his own family and his own parents with a little more sympathy than the Big Bang version of Sheldon did. And that sort of opened up a little bit of a door for us to make these characters grow on their own and let them be slightly different versions of what you might have expected from Big Bang Theory.
Which character, which character do you think is the most different than from what we were told on The Big Bang, that we see him as he appears in the young Sheldon version?
I think George Sr. is the most. And some of that was, just Lance is so inherently lovable as a human being.
He is.
As a dad.
Clearly,
literally
he's my
one of the
mother's
greatest
favorite,
people.
So yes.
So the character just started to slightly grow, and also like the character in Big Bang Theory, the stories you're told about him are a lot. It's funny about an off-screen character that he has his like driving whiskey and stuff, but you don't want to put that person in a car with an actual child. So so some of that shifted because of that, and some of that shifted just because of who Lance was and what he brought to the character. And I think it made George Sr. Such a lovely new character.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think, Steve Molaro, I think we've talked about this before, too, of the idea of giving some grace to those characters as we see them in the young Sheldon version as opposed to the Big Bang. Is it part of it because, can you speak on that, the idea of giving these characters a little more freedom and grace to tell the story? You don't have to stick exactly to it?
I think Lance and I spoke about it early. As you get older and you have kids, and you become an age that you remember your parents were and you thought they would have all the answers, and now you're that age and you clearly don't. And through that lens, this adult narrator of Sheldon could have a very different viewpoint of his parents and his whole family. And I think that's where the image of George and the rest of them started to change for us, and that we had the leeway to make those changes.
Yeah, and every kid remembers their parents differently, too. The idea that the lens as an adult is very different than what really truly happened as a child. Well done. I have to just say, and I think everyone here would agree, that when you read the scripts, they literally feel perfect from the day one, and they don't change. Like, there's lines that I worry about saying them right because they're so perfect exactly the way they were written, and you give so much information in one line. So that's all I want to say on that one. Bravo. You guys it's amazing.
You like that?
Yeah.
It's true, though. You can have, in one line, you get so much information from a character, and it's just lovely. All right, I'm gonna go, since we've been talking about George Cooper, should we go to George Cooper right now? Lance, as again, my mother always says it, you have the best face on television all the time, the looks you give. We have a little secret sort of on-set thing. Can you tell everybody, can you explain what the full Eunice is?
Well, we come from an era
Yes.
that remembers a show called The Carol Burnett Show.
Yes.
And the inspiration of Carol Burnett and some of the characters that she played, one was called Eunice, became Mama's Family, was a sketch on that. And Eunice gave incredible faces. And Zoe and I as well consider ourselves occasionally face factories on this show. I have a running joke with everybody on the show that, and this happens when you've done a show for long enough and you anticipate things that they might be writing toward. And I make the joke of, it might be in the script that says George reacts, right? We know what that means when George reacts. And I just say, I have a numbering system. Would you like a number 7 for that face? Perhaps a little bit of 12 mixed in? And they say, yes, that's perfect. And we give them the old 7.
Well, just for our own accord, can we see what a 12 would be in the full Eunice scale?
It's often a double take. Full Eunice? It's tough to go full Eunice just on the spot.
Eunice.
You have to be in the mode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very big. Don't you
Think about it, Mama. Well, I loved getting to share the screen with you a little bit. Tell me, what's your favorite episode? Do you have one? I know that's a silly question because you probably have a million.
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Wait, are you gonna cry?
You know, I keep answering this question the same way because it does come up. What's your favorite episode? I don't have a favorite episode. I have favorite moments personally from getting to do things with each of these people. And to pick is nonsense. There are things that stand out because of what they've meant to other people, and I do think, and to me, but I have a joy to work with each of these people that I've gotten to. But the relationship with the kids, playing a father who is a father in real life, and getting to explore some of that as a father trying hard and maybe and being fallible. And so those moments where George succeeds and maybe grows as a person by being a father, I might get emotional talking about it. Those are the things, and I have those with each of the kids on the show, and those are the things I probably remember the most. Certainly like the father-daughter relationship with Missy and George is pretty special. The Red Lobster episode is something that Stop it, Raegan.
No, I told you the other day that I was looking for a movie to watch, and the Red Lobster scene, the episode popped up, and that's the cover of it. I looked at it, I closed my computer and walked away. I was like, I'm not doing this right now, guys.
I can't deal with this right now. I can't deal with it. But that continued in that relationship with George and Missy in such a beautiful way. It got revisited when she was a teenager. There was stuff with boys when Missy became old enough to think about that kind of thing that George had to navigate. There was stuff with the baseball stuff that you guys shared, right? Pretty spectacular stuff that we got to do together, and stands out, and it means a lot to me because I know it stands out to a lot of the fans. I get approached about the Red Lobster episode more than anything. So.
I still have that tiara too.
I know, you told me.
I still have it, yeah.
Amazing.
It's in my room, and ever since we started filming, like the last 2 episodes, I just ignore it because I'm like, I'm gonna cry if I look at this thing.
Well, there have been a lot of tears. I think you guys are 2 days away, right, from wrapping it up. It's, yeah. Well, we'll wait. Let's wait. We'll get there in a minute. Let's keep talking. I'm gonna go to you, Iain. Hi, Iain.
Hi. How are you? Thank you so much. Gosh, you guys are switching between and like that. You're like Lance, the number 7, number 12.
Look, you didn't even say anything, and they just applauded. So, Iain, how old were you when the show first started? 9?
I was, I believe, 8 on the pilot, 9 in the first season.
9 in the first season. And you had already been...
Hey, 9-year-old!
Yay! And when you started, like, you had just come off a show where you had worked with Meryl Streep, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Big Little Lies, which is such a wonderful show. We love it so much. And it's pretty crazy because Ziggy, the character that I played on that show, and Sheldon are about as different as you can get. And I mean, I get to work with such incredible actors and actresses, and I have never considered myself to be a good actor like these guys. But I think it's funny because at such a young age, I sort of didn't even realize just how different those characters were and how fun but weird it would be to do each.
By the way, I just was thinking in my head, you were 9 years old. I was just trying to outgrow my spiral perm at 9 years old, and you'd been working with Meryl Streep. So I could mow the lawn by myself. That was pretty cool. So Iain, you started off 9 to now you're 16. What is your first on-set Sheldon memory that you can share with us?
Gosh, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
I still remember, you are just so incredible. And also, really quick sidetrack, seeing that you were gonna be the one moderating this made me so happy because you are legitimately one of my favorite people as a scene partner ever. You are so wonderful.
Thank you. Sweet.
But gosh, I can still remember the first scene that we ever shot in the music room where I'm sitting at the piano and I'm playing, and gosh, it's so funny because there's a photo of myself when I was a lot shorter, my voice was a lot higher, holding my little briefcase. The briefcase is about half my size, and it's just wild looking at that and then looking in the mirror now because it's time feels like it's sort of dilated for me, living in this world, and also between like COVID. I think a lot of us still count from 2020, and then we're like, oh my God, it's been 4 years. But it's just been so magical and so wonderful that I think it all kind of feels like it's gone by so fast, and at the same time feels like it's been my whole life.
Do you have what next? What's going to happen? So Tuesday you're wrap. Then what do you do next, Iain? Because I know you do. Every day you're doing something new. You're learning. He can speak Russian. He learned how to play a Gershwin. This kid does everything. But what do you want to do next? What's the first thing you want to do?
The Gershwin is Sean Hayes' fault. Long story. Gosh, I've got no idea. I think in June I'm going to be back here in California getting my student pilot's license, which will be wonderful. I'm very excited about that.
Again, I was working at TGI Fridays. Awesome.
But you're 10 times more talented than anyone else on this stage right now.
Save it. All right. That's fine. That's fine.
Gosh, aside from that, I've got no idea. I'm very lucky. I can kind of afford to go with the flow and just sort of do whatever now. And it's such a wonderful experience. So I'll go wherever you guys want me.
Well, thank you, Iain. I'm sure we'll come back to you in a second. I want to go to Zoe. Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Melissa.
Yeah, give it up, Mary Cooper. Zoe, my first day on set was working with you and Annie, and I was such a nervous wreck because it was such a great show, and I just wanted not to get fired and have to go back to TGI Fridays. But you and Annie were so welcoming, and I just remember looking at your face and you were so kind, and you were such a great person to work with. And I think that Mary Cooper, that's a hard character to be. It's often, I think, a thankless one. You're the foundation. You have to, everything is you're in charge of it all. And you're really complex, I think, that you have this faith, and yet Mary wasn't always as good of a girl as we think she was. When you first met George. So how do you approach sort of the balance and the complexity of Mary Cooper?
Well, I always go back to the pilot because, these three men have created all such complex characters, and we're always given the clues in every script. But I feel like I always had, three geniuses to just ask which way to navigate this or that. But it's been wild to play a character, and I'm sure you can relate to an extent too, who's quite rigid, and that I think it carries even in the body. And and who is so steadfast in her beliefs. It's informative in lots of ways. I mean, I appreciate the faith that she has and how she can sort of carry herself through all different storms. But I mean, it's so fun to play off of everybody because everyone is so brilliant, yourself included. That I get a treat because I get to watch a lot of things. And as Lance said, I then react.
But you have the best reactions too. That's what's I think so great about that character is you are rigid, but you have moments where, again, on the face and when Mary goes off the rails a little, it's so much more fun to watch because she is so rigid. So, right. And when it comes to her kids, anything is on the table, and I love that about her. Is that she worries about her kids.
Yeah, I feel like they created a really strong character who will really do anything for her family. So that is a real privilege to play. Yeah.
Yeah, you can applaud. Please do. What script did you get, Zoe, that you were so excited to do because it was so out of the box of the Mary that you had been doing, that you usually do?
Gosh, I can't remember what time it was, but I think it was maybe the first time you guys had me a little drunk. And there were do you have a memory of it?
Which one?
I don't know. I was a little.
Well, I know that we smoked cigarettes and drank wine coolers in the chicken coop.
I remember early on there was one where you got tipsy with Mima at the Barber. It was also so moving. It was a child that died in a car crash. Was it the same one?
Gosh, was it the same one? I'm not sure.
Because there was Funny Mary Drunk, but then that one was a little bit super intense. That performance was incredible.
I think, whenever there's something a little out of character for Mary and we get to see her kind of go sideways, that can be a fun little just switch up.
There's a black hole episode.
The what?
The black hole episode.
Wait, which one? Say it. Tell us.
There was a black hole episode. There was a fantasy sequence where everybody got to do something very different than their characters were.
Yeah.
Right. And Georgie was bald.
Georgie was bald.
That was so great.
And Iain was sporty.
Yeah. Not even sporty, just normal. Just completely average.
And by the way, I think this might be a good moment to sort of speak on like the amazing, the crew that you have as far from hair, makeup, set decoration, camera, everything. The detail on the show is insane. Even in the bar, like the matchbooks that set it, from everything, if you walked around these sets, from top to bottom, that crew they are all at the top of their game and doing such beautiful work.
Our house is remarkable.
It's remarkable.
Has been since day one, and when you take anyone through it, I remember taking my mom through it, and she gasped multiple times. I had that in my house. And do you remember Jim even said when he first went into the kids' room, there were 2 toys on their little side table between. He said, I kept both those toys on my side table as a kid. It was just surreal. The detail is
fantastic.
Magnificent.
It does such a good job of kind of lending to both the nostalgia of the show for people who actually grew up during that period or raised kids during that period.
As someone who actually grew up, then yes, it's true.
Also people my age who've never lived through that and are now, I mean, there's such a return of 90s culture and styles of clothing and everything now, and I think we're sort of in such a lucky position because our show sort of sits right in that genre. But it sort of is becoming a new source of nostalgia for people my age.
Hey, it wasn't that long ago, okay?
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I had a rotary phone. They work. All right, Annie Potts. Annie Potts is here. I mean, Annie, all I know is that the first day when I sat across from you or looking at you at the bowling, I kept going, oh my gosh, designing women, Pretty in Pink, Ghostbusters, oh my God. Don't blow it. You are just so good at what you do. You make it look so easy. You are the Meemaw that everybody wants. Yeah. tell it like it is. And when I went online and was, asking people what they wanted to know, everybody just loves the relationship between you and Iain specifically. They really loved the Meemaw and Sheldon relationship. It's very sweet, and you tell them the truth. But what attracted you to the role of Meemaw? What made you, want to do it?
Well, I come from the South, and I grew up around a lot of women who were that woman. So I immediately recognized her and thought, man, this, I know how to do this.
To be fair, you do know how to do most everything. So.
Thank you. But I just recognized her, and I'm sorry my mother's not alive to see herself. She would have really liked that. But it sure has been fun.
Yeah. And you've got to work with so many great guest stars. Favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Oh gosh. Well, so many. Well, I mean, these are my people right here.
Right.
But I have to say, Craig T. Nelson.
Yes.
Is.
Oh yeah.
We love Dale. We love watching you together.
I adore him. He's so much fun. And he's very deep. Every time they're not rolling, he's like, let's talk about existential things. So I always look forward to when Craig comes. But he's a blast to play with.
Do you have a favorite episode, favorite scene, something that sticks with you?
It's like having a favorite child. Okay, maybe I have a favorite child.
I think you do.
But, I have to say, I mean, it just springs to mind that the third episode in which I appeared for the first time, there was a scene where I think George had a heart attack, and they called me to babysit, and she needed a drink right away when she came over, and she gets in the refrigerator and pulls out a bottle of rosé and says, "What kind of Texan drinks pink wine?" And I just thought that was the best line to get to say ever. And anyway, that stands out for me. Drunk Meemaw is a fun Meemaw.
She's the best Meemaw. She is. I have to say, there's several times I've walked by the hair and makeup and I'd seen Meemaw's hair sitting on that head, and I'm like, "Hey, Annie," and then it wasn't you. We had long talks. Raegan, I want to come to you. So
Hi.
You give it up, Missy Cooper. And as somebody who grew up as a Missy, everyone in my family still calls me Missy. On behalf of all the Missies out there, thank you for doing such an amazing job as a Missy. You are fierce and funny and wonderful. So it's a big jump from 9 to 16. What was that journey like? And as my mom would say, those are the most fun years for a teenage girl. What was it like, you really grew up, all of you kind of grew up on this show. What has that journey been like for you from day one to today?
Warning, I'm also trying very hard not to cry right now, so you may see a bit of that. But I mean, I've been on the show for half my life, which is insane to think about.
Me too. We have to hurry this up because my dad's picking me up. We're from.
But so my mom actually put it into comparison the other day, where when I started the show, I was in a car seat, and I'm now learning how to drive.
Wow.
Which is insane. But it's been an honor to grow up beside Iain and Montana, who both, you started when you were 14, you started whenever you were 8, so we both kind of went through this together, and it's been such an honor, and I love everyone on this cast and crew. They're all insanely talented and amazing, and I'm so grateful.
First memory.
First
thing you remember, like earliest memory on set.
Honestly, I think it was, I don't know if it was a table read or just us reading the script and like kind of getting to meet each other. But it was whenever, you know the offices in the back of Warner Brothers? We went back there and we read the script, and that was the first time I remember seeing all of you. I'd known him for like 10 minutes and I jumped on his back and gave him a bear hug. It was instant family.
Fantastic. Montana Jordan, hi.
Oh, hey.
You know, you're so authentic, you are so genuine. Truly, he is one of the most polite, kind, young men you will ever meet.
Thank you.
We've never, ever gotten to have a scene together. I wish I had, because you're so much fun to watch.
Oh, I wish I had a scene with you too.
You are really delightful. And so, you know, Georgie's character, he's come a long way. You know, he sort of was, you know, not a little bit of a high school dropout, you know, and now he's a dad, and he's you know, he's got a family to take care of. What has that been like for you as an actor to sort of go? Georgie's changed a lot, I think, transformed a lot on the show.
Yeah, I think that's the big success of the show, is just having all these different characters that so many people in this world can, you know, relate to. And we've been on the show long enough to where they can see all these characters get over these problems, and it might help them out in their real life. So I think, yeah, I've had a blast playing Georgie. I'm thankful that they cast me to do it, and I'm trying to give it my all.
I honestly don't know if they could have cast anyone else, because you literally are Georgie.
I try to be, yeah.
Georgie is Montana and Montana is Georgie. There's no line.
I think it's fair to say also that you are the best big brother in life that these kids could have asked for.
Thank you.
Agreed.
That's true.
Y'all about to have me crying up here.
You were a natural from the get-go, from the first stuffing of all the tater tots into your mouth. You were so great with these kids younger than you.
No, it's literally, our relationship's gotten to the point where we're telling people that we're actually siblings now.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, a fan asks us, like, are you guys siblings? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, we just get it so much, might as well just agree.
Exactly.
And that's okay, and you know what, that's how it's gonna be forever. You guys, you're the only ones that have shared this together, so you will always be family.
And I'm just
real.
fine with that. I'm just fine with that. I love them.
I mean, Emily, I'm coming to you, Emily. Hey. Emily Osment, we've gotten to know each other. We knew each other. We were neighbors for a while.
Yeah, I hope we can maybe, I mean, I've known you over a decade now. I mean, we worked next to each other on Bradford forever.
It was so much fun.
It was great, and now I get to work with you on this. It's a testament to the show that we get to, I don't know, they keep bringing people back together. I love it.
It's lovely. I mean, that is huge. I mean, the amount of the people that you have, like sometimes just sitting on the side of the set and looking at the actors that are gathered today, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is when we should do a production of Our Town. We've got everybody, like Wallace Shawn sitting over there. There's Emily. It's everybody.
We have a view and chew at lunch sometimes where we show the episode while we're eating, which is very sweet. And the lights were down when I entered this week, and I like crawled up to the front and I found a folding chair. And we're watching the episode, and it's so great. And the lights come up, and Reba is sitting next to me. I had no idea the whole time. And I hit Zoe, and I'm like, Zoe, is that Reba? She's like, yeah.
Oh, I think Wallace Shawn walked by me once, and all of a sudden my voice got weird. I'm like, hello, Mr. Shawn. I don't know why. I was just so excited to meet him. And then like Craig walked by. I mean, it's just, people want to do this show. They just want to be on there, and they would say yes and get there. And
sorry, I jumped any question you had.
You did. I did. We just were talking, but I do have a question. Because the show, you came in when the show had been, it's a hit, it's established, they have a connection. How did it feel to walk in to an already established show as the newest, sort of going to be the newest Cooper family member?
Well, luckily I think, luckily I started not knowing that was the trajectory of Mandy. I thought I was going to come in for one and get to hang out with this guy in the laundry room, and that was going to be my story. And gratefully, thankfully, I was asked back, and then I kept getting asked back, and then I somehow became a member of this tremendous family, and I'm so grateful for that. But I think I was on the show for a few months. I haven't even met Iain yet. I mean, all my stuff was with Annie or Montana, and I just got to sit there and enjoy those scenes. And because I was a new character, I actually got the opportunity to have very specific scenes with every character. So I got to introduce Mandy to each of these people, and I was able to have a very sort of new connection with everyone on the show that everyone's gotten to know and love, and it was new for me. And so I got to come in and have a special moment with each of them, which I treasure. And it's been great. I was just grateful that we've got 2 floors of dressing rooms. The kids have 1 floor and the adults have another. And they're like, "You're gonna be upstairs." I was like, "Yes, I'm an adult."
You weren't at the kids' table, you were at the adult
Finally,
upstairs.
right? Finally, it was good.
I want to ask this of all the cast members.
Oh, God.
We're sadly, it is, Tuesday will be the wrap. What do you want to take from this set? Have you guys thought about it?
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Ray.
So I have 2 things. One is there's a tapestry you may know goes behind Missy's bed, and my friend actually is in love with it, and she's like, "Can you steal it for me, please?" So I'm like, "I'll see what I can do. I'm just gonna take it and run. You guys didn't hear anything. It's fine."
It's too late now. You told everybody.
But then the second one is I'm kind of a grandma, and I collect miniature spoons. And Zoe, or Mary, has a miniature spoon collection in the kitchen, and I have claimed that as my own.
I'll fight you for them.
Zoe, what do you want to, because you were talking about how the attention to detail in that set and the Cooper house, is there something that you would want to take for you, sentimental?
There are too many things. I think you had singled out a particular thing on our...
Did you want it?
On our desk. No. You tell them what
We
it is,
can fight
though.
for it, too.
No, it's really sweet.
To the death.
It is. I have my eye on something for a while now, thinking it's something I wouldn't mind taking. It's in George and Mary's room, on the desk in the room. And it's something very popular when I was growing up. It's that like acrylic picture cube. And there's a picture on every side of the cube. I remember this being in every house when I was growing up, having a cube. And there's a picture of all of the kids. There's one of you and I, the one that they put together.
They photoshopped one of us at our respective ages where we would have met.
Right, and you were like 15 and I'm like 22. Right. And your arms around me. It's a beautiful Photoshop picture of the younger us, and included with like a picture of Georgie on the football team and all of the kids. And I wouldn't mind taking that with me.
Aw, love that. Ian, what do you want to take?
God, 7 years of happy memories with these incredible people.
Now I feel like a real jerk for taking the couch from my dressing room.
But specifically Sheldon's spot. That couch, each part is its own piece. And yeah, so I was thinking I could maybe get a forklift in there and take that back to Virginia. Funny enough, I didn't realize that the miniature spoons were such a hot ticket item because a good friend of mine in England named Mr. Daniel and I are both big fans of silver spoons and silver in general.
Who knew?
And I actually have a little watch key from 1870 that I bought from him in my
In your
jacket
pocket right now?
I do, yes.
Who are you?
I don't know.
I have a lifesaver.
I seem to be a bit of a grandpa myself. But, so I definitely want to maybe grab one of those as a fun little memento. Wait. Oh, there we go, yes. This little watch key.
There it is.
Yeah, he was showing me this backstage. It's so cool. You're like Nikola Tesla. What are you
Very nerdy. But yeah, no, mostly the memories.
Okay. Annie, is there something you want to take from Meemaw's house or anything?
Honey, the tornado took my house. Other than that. But I have to say, everything in it was so ugly. I mean, everything. There was a couple of pictures that had all of us in it, that were a treasure to me. But everything else, besides a couple of, my chicken shirt. I like that chicken shirt. But I'm with Ian. I think I'll just go home with my memories, which are pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's great.
Nothing but sweet.
Montana, were you had your eye on anything on the set at all?
Well, I was going to talk to Lance about getting that porta potty that we was in that last. Never know when you're going to need that.
No, I've already got it. I've claimed it.
You already got it.
I wanted to maybe take a moment to talk about all the guest stars. You had Jason Alexander, like Wallace Shawn, Ed Begley Jr., Wendy Malick. I mean, the list goes on and on.
Reba McEntire.
Reba, don't forget Reba.
Reba, I mean, there's so, I mean, yes, Reba. Just, again, people wanted to do them. How did you guys approach? Did you just make these phone calls, or did you have them in mind? How did you approach sort of asking people to come play?
You beg.
You beg.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I don't think you have to beg.
Well, you know, I mean, we've been really blessed, though, with extraordinary guest actors. Across the whole 7 years, it's been amazing.
We had the character of Dr. Sturgis and it wasn't cast yet, and I just wanted to work with Wallace Shawn.
I know.
So it's like, can we get him? I just want to hang out with that guy.
Yeah.
And that worked out.
And so a lot of you, I mean, we have so many wonderful fans here today, and the Netflix effect, it's been streaming now. It's like #1, I think, globally, like everywhere. How has that changed? Like, that has changed sort of like being recognized. Like, Iain, what was it? Like, people just screaming when you walk to set or anything?
It's such a wonderful, I'm so deeply grateful to every single one of you guys. From like in the first season getting recognized from like such wonderful like people who would watch it on CBS and like record it and say I watch it with my kids, I watch it with my family, then to TikTok and having it in short form content, it would be people my age recognizing me, which was crazy. And then now on Netflix it's everybody. And one thing I love about the show is there's so many different aspects of it that work so well together, whether it's the religion, science, whether it's the time and the place where people find something to relate to in it. And it's funny because on paper, it's such a weird show. It doesn't seem like there'd be a lot to relate to, but it's so well written, and there's such incredible people that are in it. So, we've been so lucky, but deeply thank you guys so much.
So one of the extraordinary things that happened because of Netflix is we have an audience that never saw The Big Bang Theory.
And you think about it, you're the only Sheldon Cooper that they know.
Sheldon Cooper they know, and that's
Bazinga.
wonderful. That's just been an incredible gift.
I started to talk about it backstage. I find it interesting. Like, how do you think it will be? So all these new viewers from Netflix, who this is the first Sheldon Cooper they meet.
Yes.
And then they're going to go back. They're going to go, oh, there's more. I want to watch it. They're going to go to Big Bang. How do you think it'll be different watching it, meeting this Sheldon first, as opposed to meeting the Jim Parsons Sheldon first?
Blood is coming out of my ears trying to understand. I don't know, because we grew up with The Big Bang Theory for 12 years, and so it's flipped now, which is, again, it's a testament to this cast that they're the show. The mothership, no one knows where the mothership is. They're the show, and that's just been wonderful.
Maybe some people will realize there's a Young Sheldon sequel out there and they'll check it out after this.
The Young Sheldon sequel. That's what they'll call it. So, again, look at all the people in this room who are here today because you've met so much. The Coopers have meant so much to all of us, and they will live on and on and on in all of our hearts. And I wanted to maybe...
That soft kitty pillow is the best thing. I'm so sorry. That is incredible.
Can I bring
Way to go.
Do you want me? Is this?
What's up? How are you guys? Good to see y'all. I was eyeing that thing. It's incredible.
Iain's young eyes.
Good catch, Melissa.
Reflexes of a puma. Oh my.
That's incredible.
Okay, right here.
Look at that.
It's is this for him to keep?
Oh, don't.
You want him to keep
You're
it?
stealing their pillow, Melissa.
I'm not stealing it. I think she wants you to take
Oh my
You can
gosh.
take a little nap now.
That's incredible. You all have been boring me
I'll
to
give
sleep.
it back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
That's one of
Keeping this
my
right here.
favorite moments. What would you do if you had to go back? I'll start at the end and we'll just come down. I'll start with you, Emily. If you could go back to your first day on set and tell yourself, just say, what would you tell yourself on that first day?
First day, I can't hear you. You're so far away. Say it again, Melissa.
I said, if you're on the first
yeah. First day on set.
if you could go back and tell yourself, what would you tell yourself, your past self, since we're talking future past Sheldon, what would you tell yourself the first day that first person. Now, this sounded so much better in my head.
Yes.
Wait, I have an idea.
And
A game
I'm
of
sitting next to
telephone.
3 of the most brilliant writers who've made all of the TV. I apologize for that. If you could go back and just, what would you tell yourself that first day on set of Young Sheldon?
That is a good question.
Thank you.
Eventually.
It took a while to get there, but a lot of people think it was worth the journey.
I think as fallible humans, we sometimes think we're going to remember all the wonderful things in our life and they'll just sort of stick with us no matter what, because it's just this journey that I've been so fortunate to be on, and I'm just even so grateful to be up here with all of you. I've only been here a few years and I'm grateful that you've taken me in, but I think I would have told myself to maybe write down some of the things that I was feeling on that first day here, because it's just been such a lovely journey, and I hope to all of you, if something incredible happens in your life, that you do take the time to write down and remember it, because you'll never forget it.
That's great.
That's really good. Good luck.
Good answer.
Montana.
Well, let's see. I'd probably just tell myself it'd be all right, because I was probably looking around that first day and like, what the hell is going on? I had no idea what was going on. I made it.
Ray.
I feel like mine honestly is kind of similar to yours, because this was like my first, like similar to you, it was my first big show or big acting project that I'd done, and I was petrified, and these people made it so much easier for me, but probably I would say to just appreciate throughout the years everything that they did for me, cast and crew alike.
That's great.
Yep.
Annie Potts.
What was the question?
It's slowly becoming a
I'm
fan.
elderly.
It's slowly becoming a fan favorite question. If you could go back and tell yourself something on the first day of Sheldon, what would you tell yourself then?
Well, as I am elderly, I have done a few of these before. So I took a look around that first day and I thought, this is going to be a big effing hit. And I think I told everybody else that too.
You did, yes.
I did, didn't I? Yeah. Because, you know, in the early days of anything, you get a little nervous about it. But it was so clear that this was just going to be a big ride and fun to boot. And I came in it to enjoy it because I'm old enough to know that it's a privilege to have these things come to you. And with writers like we've got and a cast like we've got, and I mean, there's just nothing quite like it. And that's what I remember. Did I answer the question?
You answered it quite perfectly, actually. Lance, follow that.
Did you repeat the question? I would have told myself to listen to Annie Potts, because this thing is going to be a big deal for all of us, and a childhood dream come true for you. Yeah.
Zoe?
Oh gosh, these are all good answers. I think like Montana, telling myself it would be okay, and that these people around you, cast and crew, are gonna be a huge part of your life and your memories forever. Yeah.
Iain.
God, well, I can't follow Annie's. Also, you guys stole both of my big things. I was gonna say, could you repeat that? Which is not funny now. And I was gonna say, you get to work with Annie Potts, you're the luckiest boy in the world. So, I mean, you guys stole my stuff. But I think mostly just telling myself, you are so lucky and you are so I don't know how this managed to happen. I don't feel like I deserve this at all. I work with some of the best people in the world, and it's insane. But just be so grateful and be so kind to everybody and always remain humble. And again, you work with Annie Potts, like, just listen to her always.
I'm going to switch up that question for you guys because it's no longer a fan favorite, that question. I was going to ask, is there anything that you can tell us about the episodes that are remaining that are coming up? Can you let, like, without any spoiler alerts, is there anything you can share or not? Or
These people are in them.
Well, yes, but
So that's
you tell them what to say.
I can tell you that before we were done, we thought it would be nice to see some old familiar faces again. So Sheldon's friend Tam is going to be back, and our friend Steve Burns, who plays Nathan from the comic book store and who also wrote our awesome theme song, he will be back, and a few other fun things like that.
Jim Parsons and Mayim Bialik.
Oh,
We'll be back.
Yes.
can you tell us a tiny bit about what's...
No.
No.
They play Sheldon and Amy as adults.
Yes,
That's all you can
Yeah.
say. That has not happened quite yet? No?
We have shot that.
Okay.
We have shot it.
You have?
And you will see them on camera. It's not just voices.
Really?
Yes.
And
my
it was
gosh.
incredible to get to have...
How excited are you for that? Amazing.
If some of you people don't know, there's this show Big Bang Theory that they were in.
Okay, all right. And I want to do another one for the cast, sort of, they can all ask, because we asked a few people that. But do you have a favorite scene, a favorite episode, anything that you want to share with anybody? Best or favorite memory, you know? Anyone want to go first? Ray?
I do have one.
Okay.
And Lance knows what it is, and it's one that people never guess. And it's whenever Lance and I filmed the tornado scene. My favorite day to film, because we just laid in the mud in the pouring rain all day, and it was so much fun. And we had like wetsuits on underneath like whatever George Missy clothing, so we were like waddling around set all day. It was so much fun to film. Of course, like sobbed while watching the actual episode, but it was one of my favorite filming days we've had.
And you get to say you shot on the Warner Ranch before it. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Before now it's gone.
Because that won't be happening probably.
Yeah, it's gone now.
That our scenes for the tornado were the last scenes we filmed for young Sheldon on Warner Ranch.
The audience maybe doesn't know why that is or that story behind that. Does anyone want to share why the tornado thing and that why you're the
the Warner Ranch where we shot the exterior of Mima's house was sold and was going to be demolished. And so since we wouldn't have access to our house again, we asked them if we could knock the house down ahead of time for the show. And we had a tornado come through.
Annie, what was that like?
Well, she wasn't in it when we did it.
I know she wasn't in it. But, there's memories in that it actually was, demolished.
Yeah, I mean, it had almost 100 years of history there, and my house was the least of it. But I took that very personally, just to come around the corner and see that it was gone was
very jarring to see.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sentimental being, so yeah, that was hard for me. I live in the neighborhood too, so I drive by it all the time, and it's like, my house.
I'm going to share maybe just a little moment that I thought was just so sweet, being on the set in recent days, and it was that it was you, Annie, and it was Ray was coming to sit by you. It was between takes and something, and you just said, "I remember when she used to sit on my lap," and I'll cry thinking about it, and you just started to cry. The emotions are sort of all there right now for all of you. I gotta.
Don't start this.
I'm not gonna start. I'll go back. I'll reel it back in. I'll just say this. What would I have told myself on the first day that said, "Do not park in Chuck Lorre's spot"? Idiot. Peterman, idiot.
I have a sweet memory, and because she's sitting next to me now too. It was one of the first times we shot a dinner table scene, and those take hours.
Hours,
to
guys,
because there's
hours.
So many of us to shoot, but she was little, and we were sitting there, and just in the course of it, all of a sudden she just takes her little hand and puts it up under my sleeve of my blouse and starts to play with that kind of flappy kind of fat thing back there on the bottom. And she did it for about an hour. She examined every possible thing to do with that. Later, I was telling an actor friend of mine that, and they said, well, why didn't you tell her to stop? And I said, are you kidding? That was gold. It's just, anyway, darling, it's okay. I love you for it forever and ever.
I had no idea I did that. I do not
You
remember.
were little. It was natural.
Oh my God.
Lance, do you have a favorite memory or favorite episode?
Nope.
None of them. Hate them all.
What about
Not
when I
one.
did that to you in dinner scenes?
When I wish I could say that the dinner scenes are my favorite memories of the show, but that's not true.
You enjoyed that food. Come on.
You love that
Fine.
knife flick.
We had to learn to not eat on those days. I never learned that. And the food was delicious. Our designer that did the food was all-American meals. Yeah. I will, as rigorous and long as some of those days were, I will miss them. I love that I will miss that a lot because it was such a crux of the show, like a cornerstone of the show, as a family sitting around a dinner table. Something that we've kind of lost in maybe a little bit in culture, and it's nostalgic. And I think it was something that people liked about the show. I certainly did when I watched it. And it brought up a lot for me personally. So I like those dinner scenes now that we're distant from them. For sure.
Now that you don't have to experience the dinner scenes anymore, you're like, they were all right.
They were all right.
Rose-tinted glasses.
Oh, heck yeah. Brisket.
Oh,
I get asked for Mima's brisket recipe probably once a week from somebody. I don't have it.
To this day.
I wanted to ask this because, again, you've had such Iain, and I will say that how lucky that as young actors that you got to be surrounded by such brilliant actors, which they are, but they were also just really good human beings. And I would say observing that entire crew, everybody looked out for you kids all the time. And it was just lovely to watch. Did you get any acting tips from some of those, from your co-stars, or a Wally or an Ed or anybody? You're working with these legends daily. Any tips that they gave you?
It's funny because, yes, but it's less like a specific moment where somebody pulled me aside and gave me a piece of advice that would stick with me forever, and more just getting to work with people like Miss Annie, like Mr. Ed, like Mr. Wally, like Miss Reba McEntire, who are just so good at what they do and so talented, and Lance and Zoe and Raegan Montana, Emily Osment, just everyone it's so wonderful to get to watch them work, and I think I sort of subconsciously intake parts of their performance or things they do or the way they behave on set. And I think as a young kid, running around the set, energetic and hyper, it was really important to have people who were so good and so patient, because we were annoying. we are annoying, but all the wonderful adults on the show put up with us so well. And also, going back to our incredible crew, for example, Michael Smith in the sound department, we call him Grandpa Michael. We adopted him. Also, Mr. Greg Koch. I've been learning how to drive on his 1958 Austin Healey, stick shift and everything. But everyone on our crew is so incredible, and just watching such professionalism on a set from such a young age, it's incredible. I've been so lucky, and everyone is so great.
And I think that everyone who is on the next set or the next project that you will do will be lucky too, because you've learned such wonderful things from this that you will continue to bring everywhere you go.
I sure hope so, because if I'm able to bring a tenth of the incredible acting prowess and professionalism of some of these people, I would be the best actor in the world. And I'm aside from them, obviously. So I'm very grateful, and I hope I'm able to retain some of that.
Well done. Raegan. Raegan, Montana, you guys, again, growing up on the set, working with Annie, Lance, Zoe, with all these amazing guest stars that came in, did you ever get any tips, or did you just watch and observe?
It really was more just being in their presence was just, I learned so much. Being in scenes and seeing the amazing comedic timing all of you have, seeing the amazing facial expressions you guys have. It just constantly learning from you guys. And also not even just like learning about how to be a good actor, but just how to be a good person. Like you guys are, don't make that face at me, I'm gonna cry, Melissa. I'm gonna cry, don't do it to me. But it's just like you guys are like my parents, you're like my grandma. And it, like you've taught me genuinely so much. I totally just stole the answer from you, sorry about that.
No, you got it. I'm gonna second everything she just said. Perfect.
It was an incredible joy and privilege to watch them grow up just as people, but certainly to watch their skills. They all came to this because they had something, that thing that you can't teach, you're born with, the ability to do this, but then to watch them grow in their skill as actors on the set was such a cool thing to be present for. And they all became quite skilled actors on top of their natural gifts. It was really cool.
I'm not replying, I'm gonna cry.
Montana?
I just second what she said. You can't say it no better than that. Everything she said was great.
And a few words, proper text.
This could be for either one of our amazing creators and writers. When did you know how you were going to, how do I say this? Do you think the fans are how are they gonna feel about how we're gonna end the series? Do you want to say anything about it, or did you know? I mean,
it's hard to project what other people might think, but I love how this plane lands. I just love how we brought it home.
When you ask people about their favorite episodes, I honestly think the last 3 episodes of this season I'm the most proud of. I think they're my favorite episodes of the run.
True.
The scene, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
The scene that we filmed on Friday, right? The one.
You're not spoiling
No spoilers.
Okay, all right. I said
spoilers.
I looked at you and I said the one.
The scene with the actors, that scene, go ahead.
The one which I acted
where you spoke
so
words.
well.
Yeah.
I said about a couple words for sure. It's of course, it's gonna be the last scene of the entire series. And I didn't say a single thing. You were so lucky. I was on the cusp. But I get to work with a certain incredible actor in that. And it was just so cool. It was so wonderful to do. And I feel so honored to have gotten to do all this. But that scene was so wonderful.
It was really
also,
fun and moving to watch that.
There was going to be a reason we might have had to reshoot that, and we don't, which is also great.
Oh, you don't have to reshoot it? You don't have to reshoot it?
No, we don't have to.
Oh, that's great.
We're gonna have to go back on Monday, and I would have to wake up early. It would have been hell.
Do you think are you planning, or what are your plans for who are you gonna watch it with? Where are you gonna be?
Gosh, with my mom,
Yeah.
who I love so much. My mom is so incredible, and I think the only one other thing about all the young people on this show, although really everyone, because I think when you meet somebody good, you have to blame their parenting, or bad. When you meet somebody, you have to kind of give a little bit of credit to their parents. We all have such good parents, and we're very, very lucky. And we've all had good mentors, what with the people on the show, and then also just in our lives. So I'm grateful to my mom, and I'm grateful to all the moms and dads on our show, and thank you. And also, Zoe and Lance and Miss Annie. I'm sounding like a broken record going over all the people I love. It's a small list, but I love my mom so much. So.
Sweet. I'm gonna say that. Oh, Club Swab.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Blast from the past.
Who Wants to Start? Club Swab was the hottest club in town. It had everything. It had Q-tips, it had test tubes, it had a disco ball.
Bracing my chair.
Yeah, it was during the pandemic when we all had our little, where we had to get tested for every day, and our amazing team, COVID team, they set up an entire, a nightclub. There was a disco ball. Ray, you tell it. They decorated it. It was
COVID chic.
a work of art. It's my favorite thing ever. Didn't you do like a dance video too?
I did do a dance video for Club Swab.
Yep.
It was like, and we made swabbing and saliva fun at Club Swab, which we had to do.
I do want that video, please. I would like to have that, if we can find it.
I will repost that one again.
Hold it to it.
Anyone else want to shout one out? That was fun.
Come on, say something. This can't go wrong.
Yeah, this is pure great judgment on my part. How do you memorize your lines, Ian?
Gosh, I'm lucky because I have a weird memory. I'm nowhere near as good as Sheldon, but ever since I was pretty little, I can look at a page of, it's not quite photographic, but if I want to remember something, I can remember it pretty easily, especially visually. So if I look at my lines on the page, I can read it over. I don't look at my lines. I read the script, but I don't look at my lines for the day until like 5 minutes before we shoot. I just look over the script for me. Sorry? Honestly, I've been suspicious of it my whole life.
We did a little charity thing where we did commentary on an episode for a family who bid on it, Steve and Ian and I. And it was an episode Ian picked it from season 2, and he was sitting shouting out the lines like before they would happen. This is 6 years ago.
Yeah, my favorite line to this day.
So he might be an alien.
So in conclusion,
supporting the alien theory.
But no, I think one of my favorite lines to this day, and my mom used to call it child abuse line, was, and here near apogee, we gimbal the engine to exert a torque which executes a pitch-over maneuver to flip the rocket by 180 degrees. Needless to say, we use a PID controller to minimize the dispersions caused to the landing site. And I love it so much. It was from like season 1. A patch, a modem, and a Xantec, I think.
That's why we all had a job. He could do that, and we wouldn't have a job if he couldn't.
Incredible. Yeah, I just kept my script in the drawer next to me.
Oh, I do that too.
So we know that we're going to say goodbye to, I would call it legacy TV. It's phenomenal, but you're never going to really go away because they will be watching it for years and years to come. I'll start down with Emily and we'll go all the way here. What do you want to tell the fans? What do you want to say to them as they're also going to be a little sad to say goodbye? And just what do you want to say to them that they've loved the Coopers, they've loved your family, they love this show. They're here. They're here today. What would you like to tell the fans? Because that's why we're here.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. And I mean, when I'm out at Trader Joe's getting my dinner, the people that come up are all different ages. I mean, this is a show for everyone, and that's been clear from day one. And the world building that has gone on in the Big Bang universe, the fact that I get to be a part of it is just outrageous. And thank you for believing in Mandy. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Well, I want to say thank you as well. As simple as it is, it means a lot. You've changed all of our lives, you know.
We left our baby at home.
Oh, our baby.
Congrats on the baby.
But no, I just want to say thank you. Like I said, you've changed all of our lives. And, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.
How am I supposed to follow that up?
I don't know.
Wow. I mean, like you said, you guys have changed our lives. You're the reason that we've had the success of 8 years, and I'm so grateful to each and every one of you. I've had the privilege of talking and meeting with a lot of you, and you're all amazing, and I'm just I will always be grateful for what you've done for our show.
Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you more and more and more. And from my heart.
We love you, Annie.
Absolute gratitude.
What was the question?
Well,
if you could go back to...
I can echo all of the gratitude here. There's no question it's been life-changing, and we have a magical, memorable part of the rest of my life. And it means that people watch and love and watch together as a family is such a big deal. And to go on the journey with this chapter of the Big Bang universe. And I wanted to say about the ending of the show that I think these brilliant people down here who created this world that we all enjoy so much deserve so much credit for giving us that enjoyment of entertainment. And I believe that they have honored us so greatly with how they've ended this chapter in this universe. I think it's beautiful what they've done, and I hope that everyone else does as well.
Yeah, there aren't enough thanks, truly. And the testament to what you all have created and the universality of it is that we've had the privilege to travel with this show. And I've been approached in Mexico. I've been approached in Germany when we were doing press, in Australia when we were doing press.
I've been approached in Egypt.
Yes, yeah. And the fact that this translates around the world is a testament to what you've created. So thank you all for coming along the ride with us.
I think the international part of this is so cool. Like, seriously, shukran, danke, spasiba, gracias, grazie mille. However you say it, wherever you are, thank you for watching. And also, as much as I love talking about the cast and the crew, you guys are pretty incredible. Thank you for writing such great shows, but thank you for writing this. We love you so much.
Mike?
I would just like to say, before we go out to that, to Steve Holland and Steve Molaro and to Chuck, thank you so much. We're the face people of this, but if it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. And what a marvelous, marvelous world that you've given the world.
Thank you.
Back to you guys. Thank you guys for bringing these characters to life and for just being the best partners we've gotten to work with over these years. And thank you guys for watching. It's really special to be a part of something that means so much to so many people, and we only get to keep doing it because you guys love it and support it. So thank you.
I would like to say to all the young people who found this show on TikTok and Netflix, the final season is on this thing called CBS right now. So if you can find an old person and ask them what CBS is and how to turn it on, they would be very happy to do that for you, and you could watch the last season before anybody else does on TikTok.
I love the way you sounded saying that.
I just want to say thank you to this extraordinary cast. What a joy and a pleasure. I'm so proud to have been part of this and to have worked with these gentlemen for these many years, and that the show goes forward without us. Yeah. And to those of you who have watched and supported us, what can you say other than thank you? From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
So did anyone, before we sort of wrap this up, is there anything that anyone wants to say or forgot to say or wish they would have said? Anyone?
God, my hands are hurting from clapping so much. Please don't say anything cool or relatable or nice or emotional, please. Say something really bland and generic.
Well, I'll wrap it up by just saying thank you for allowing me to come moderate this panel. It's been just a joy to, I've loved Brenda Sparks. I think I've loved every word she got to say and every scene I got to share with each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure, and so I really appreciate this. Let's give it up to them. Let's show them all.